What if I told you there was a country so isolated that almost no one ever visits, where more than 90% of the population is obese, the landscape seems lunar, and women dream of falling in love with a stranger to escape? In the middle of the vast and endless Pacific Ocean, where the mainland seems to have forgotten its existence, a small island emerges shrouded in mystery: Nauru. One of the most isolated and smallest countries on the planet, surrounded by thousands of kilometers of water, but full of surprising stories, harsh realities, and surprising contrasts. This remote paradise is home to single and exotic women who dream of finding love as a way out of the many challenges they face. Prepare to immerse yourself in a reality that surpasses fiction. Nauru was once the richest country in the world, fueled by a rare resource like seabird poop. Yes, you heard right. Today, that same island tops the list of the poorest nations on the planet. A decline so drastic that it has not only devastated its economy, but also warped its geography, leaving a crater-strewn landscape that seems out of this world. The island holds the record for having the highest percentage of obese people on the planet. Many men here consume an amount of calories equivalent to more than 6 whole chickens every day. Nauru is also the third smallest country in the world, but also among the most fascinating for the intensity of its contradictions. Nauru's history is worthy of a magical realism novel. A country that has gone from extreme wealth to the depths of despair. From a symbol of prosperity to an open-air prison for refugees. From driving on the few roads in luxury cars to being dependent on humanitarian aid. All this while maintaining unusual traditions, such as the national sport of throwing lassos into the sky to catch birds that will later become pets. Over 90% of the adult population is considered obese, a figure that far exceeds that of giants such as the United States and Mexico. The causes are multiple: poverty, dependence on ultra-processed imported foods, and loss of healthy habits. Mass unemployment, physical inactivity, and lack of alternatives have led to an unprecedented public health crisis. Type 2 diabetes affects approximately 1/3 of the population. The average daily calorie consumption reaches 7,500 and 5,000 calories for men and women respectively. At its peak in the 1970s, per capita income was higher than that of countries like the United States. In 1975, Nauru's per capita income reached $176,000 a year. All thanks to white gold, phosphate, extracted from centuries of accumulated bird droppings. But the good fortune did not last long. Overexploitation devastated the island. Without reserves, without economic diversification, Nauru fell into the abyss. In a controversial move, Australia used the island as a detention centre for refugees in exchange for financial support. But conditions were harsh, and the paradise became a symbol of human suffering. In the midst of this crisis, her residents are looking for an escape, both literal and symbolic. Many women, aware of their physical appeal and tired of their surroundings, see hope in strangers. It is not about superficiality, but about survival, about seeking alternatives outside the invisible walls of their island. The women of Nauru are undoubtedly one of the most unique treasures of this remote island. With a natural beauty born from centuries of cultural fusion between Micronesians, Polynesians, and European settlers, they possess exotic features that fascinate the few visitors who set foot on these lands. Skin golden from the tropical sun, deep-set and expressive eyes, and a strong but harmonious physiognomy, a reflection of their ancestral heritage. However, their charm goes far beyond physical appearance. Many of these women learned from a young age to live with an environment full of challenges: structural poverty, unemployment, geographic isolation, and limited development opportunities. In the midst of this reality, they have become the pillars of their communities. They are the ones who care for, teach, organize and preserve the traditions that keep Nauru's cultural identity alive. They often wear traditional costumes decorated with floral motifs, symbolizing pride in their local roots and connection to the land. A striking feature is the considerable number of single women. Many young men leave the island in search of better opportunities, leaving behind a generation of strong, independent women with a deep curiosity about the outside world. For many of them, contact with foreigners is more than just an attraction. It is a window onto new cultures, ideas, and perhaps a different future. The interest in tourists does not arise from the exoticism of the other, but from an emotional and existential need to break down the invisible barriers imposed by life on a small island forgotten by the world. Nauru has no official capital. Its only administrative district, Yaren, houses the government, parliament, and embassies, but is not a city as such. The entire island can be covered by car in just an hour, with only 30 kilometers of road and a railway line of just 4 kilometers. With a population of around 10,000 people, the island retains a unique identity. The combination of Micronesian and Polynesian roots, combined with the influence of British, German, and Japanese colonizers, has given rise to a population with exotic features, golden skin, intense eyes, and a beauty that unsettles every visitor. The economic, social, and ecological challenges are enormous, but the resilience of its people is equally astonishing. As we have said, Nauruan women, many of whom are single due to the emigration of young people, keep traditions alive and are often attracted by strangers who offer them the possibility of a different future. And Nauru has no army. If threatened, it is up to Australia to decide. Another example of its fragility as a nation, but also of its pragmatism. In sports, rugby is one of the favorite sports, although its most unusual activity remains the peculiar form of hunting birds in the air with lassos. It is an ancestral practice that reflects its intimate connection with nature. Visiting Nauru is not an easy task. There are no direct flights from America or Europe. Stopovers are necessary, almost always in Australia. Nauru Airlines connects the island to Brisbane with a flight lasting about 4 hours. Once you arrive, getting around is easy thanks to its small size. You can rent a car or a motorbike and move freely in a short time. The official currency is the Australian dollar. Although some places accept cards, it is advisable to carry cash, especially if you plan to visit local markets. English is widely spoken, making communication easy for international travelers. As for costs, a coffee can cost around $5 Australian, a beer the same, and a night in a mid-range hotel easily exceeds 120 Australian dollars, depending on the season. A visa is required for most countries, including the United States and European Union member states. It can be obtained on arrival, is generally valid for 15 days, and costs about 50 Australian dollars. Nauru is a place like no other. A country that has gone from high to low, that suffers but resists, that struggles between beauty and chaos. Visiting it is like discovering a hidden treasure, a story worth telling. Now that you know this story, tell us in the comments. Would you dare to visit this forgotten island? What surprised you the most about Nauru? We read you because every comment helps us to continue creating content like this, and because you are part of our community. Thank you for joining us on this unfiltered journey.